Namato Ratanatayasa. May I pay homage to Triple Zem, the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. My respect goes to my parents and my teachers. Hello everyone. Good evening. Today is Monday, 13th of April, Oyster Monday. Today is also a new year in a lot of Asian countries. Nepal, India, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Thailand, Myanmar, Cambodia, Laos. These countries are celebrating New Year. So today is a new celebration, a New Year day. Everybody is celebrating New Year at home now. Unfortunately, we cannot have any ceremonies and any events at all. Yeah. So Happy New Year to you all. And in Thailand it's called Happy Songkran. Happy Songkran. Yeah. And as I mentioned yesterday about the Songkran festival, and took two subjects from that, and I explained about it. So Happy Songkran and Happy New Year. So may you all be happy, healthy, wealthy, keep well, keep safe, and with the blessings and the protective power of the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha, may you be safe, may you be free from all kinds of suffering until you attain the liberation Nibbana. So this is a message from me, from Ajahn Sujan, Varapunya Meditation Center in Aberdeen. Tonight there are a couple of topics that I was asked to speak, and a couple of things that I was asked to speak to. So I will try my best to cover it up, cover as many as I can. And there are other topics I was suggested to speak on, such as like a karma, and then a craving, the tanha, and on the subject of rebirth. Frankly speaking, there are some topics that I always try to avoid to speak about. And some of them are like the Nibbana, the ultimate truth or the ultimate goal of Buddhism, and concept of the karma, concept of the rebirth. Yeah, so these were the topics that I always kept silent and try to avoid and not to touch that topics. But it seems like now, as I come online, needed to touch on those topics as you all have requested. So over the period of time, every night as I come online, I will try to cover these topics. So today, since this is a new year, I was asked to talk on something about the past and something about the future, and then something about now, which is quite a big topic. Which is very big topic. And about the past, we cannot deny that there is not the past. We have been through that past. Let's say it depends on how many years we lived in a human flesh. I've been in this life for 40 years, so I know I exist in the past. I was exist in the past for 40 years. Forget about the previous births. So there is a past that we cannot deny. And somebody says, how can we be sure that there is the past or previous births? And again, it is not an easy question to ask, easy question to reply, because we cannot make it to see you, or so-called empirical evidence. Although there are some empirical evidence that been published by like Stevenson and other scholars after they have gone through the thorough investigation of people, those who could remember their previous lives. So we cannot deny that there weren't any previous lives. So there were. So we cannot deny the past. But meantime, that past should be leave aside. That past should be leave aside. We shouldn't be holding on to it. We shouldn't be taking or grasping it all the time. Past is there as a lesson that we have learned, and then we become now. And there is a famous saying also says that if you want to know your past, look at now, because now is the result of the past, that what you have done. So look at now, how you are, which situation you are in. And in the meantime, if you want to know the future, again, know that what you are doing now, because future is a result of what you do now. So future is a result of what you do now. So every action that you take now defines the next. And human nature is such that we are born to go forward, born to think of the forward. There are nothing that we cannot do. Only matter is whether we will do it or not. So past we cannot deny, future we cannot deny, because past is there. Without the past, we are not here now. And then without now, there is no future too. So there are 3 time zones exist without denying. A new year is a conventional truth that we have defined. There is no difference whatsoever between yesterday and today. It's just another day. But we conventionally defined it on the basis of whether it is lunar or whether it is the sun. We defined it as a new year because moving from one time zone to next time zone. That's why we have so many New Years. Sometimes it depends on the moon, sometimes it depends on teachers, sometimes it depends on religious persons. So we celebrate so many New Years around the world. Each New Year is very different. And that's simply because a particular community has defined it as a new year and celebrated it and continue celebrating that as a new year. So we always leave the past. So last year we leave and then we go on with the new year. And now here the thing that we have to be conscious of, that are we taking the past along with us, or we are living the past and cultivating good things now and changing our behavior, our attitude, our understanding towards the future. As I already said, what we are now is the past effect. So whatever you want to be in the future, it's you defines now. And here, I just want to give you that future is defined by you, not anybody else. No any external powers that defines you, that what you're going to be. So it's up to us. How do we behave? How do we change? So we need to understand that. Let me tell you a story that when the Buddha was meditating under the Bodhi tree before he got enlightened, after he had been through so many teachers and practices, austerity practices, he was unable to attain the Nibbana, or the liberation, or the Buddhahood. When he was meditating, the first hour of the night, he was enlightened about the past lives. So it's called Pubbbe Nivasanusati. All the past lives, he recalled that where he had been, because we know that we cannot deny the past. Same, the Buddha first realized his past, and he understood that each time when he reborn in one place to another, there was always some cause that making his new life different. His new state was different on the basis of whatever he had done in the past lives. And after he concentrated on understood his past lives, all his past lives, millions of his past lives, he understood. And after that, he channeled his mind towards the future generations. Not only his own future, but also the old animals, all the sentient beings. It's called a satta. Yeah? It's called a Chuttupadayana. So, this is called a Chuttupada, means dying and then arising. So, dying from one place and reborning another place. So he was able to understand that. He was able to comprehend that. So with this, he was able to recall all his past, as well as he was able to recall the the death and rebirth of all the sentient beings during his time. Yeah? He was able to comprehend on rebirths, after rebirths, millions of it. And with that, he understood that what is making him to reborn, what is making these animals or these sentient beings born from one place to another, one good place to another bad place, or one bad place to another bad place, or one bad place to another good place, like that. So he was able to recall and able to comprehend that so perfectly. It's like we could recall our past. I was born in Nepal, I had these brothers and sisters, my father was this, my father's father was him, mother was like that. So like that, within this 40 years time, anyone who is related to me, I could recall their lives and their relatives. Think about the brilliant mind if we have developed in such a state of the mind, and we will be able to recall of those. But unfortunately, I cannot recall my relatives who passed away and then reborn somewhere else, and because my mind is not developed in that state yet. But those who have developed will be able to know that. So that the qualities the Buddha had, he was able to comprehend that so well, so perfectly. Understanding the cause and effect of this birth and death, birth and death, birth and death from one state to another, one existence to another existence, he saw that we are all reborning again and again and again and again is simply because of the taints, so-called asavas, that we have. The greedy mind, the hatred that we have. Right? And when we go down deeper into it, we can see that the main root cause of it is unable to see that these taints as they truly are. Whenever there is a greedy mind arises, we crave for something. Whenever there is a hatred starts, we resist further on. And we create more and more. So unable to know that that particular time, the present moment action, and we go on multiplying it, engaging it, proliferating it. So we're behaving on it. So we're taking action on top of it, so-called sankhara. And with that, what happens? We're creating more and more. So we continue the journey in the cycle of a birth and a death. So on the third night, on the Vesak day, the Buddha simply realized that these are the taints, are the main root cause that is, unknowing it, making us to crave something to get. And we engage on that. So we form on it. And with that forming, whether it is forming into the wholesome or unwholesome, whether it is forming by physical action or verbal action or even the thinking mind, then that continues the new life circle. And if we stop here, each time when arises, knowing it, stopping here, without having any further on, we are stopping our new generation. There is no formation, there is no creation, there is no continuation. All stops here, in this moment, here and now. The very moment when he realized that this is the greatest moment, and it's a very, very important moment that we have to realize, and only then we can cut all these chains of continuation. We will be able to cut these taints. There is no desire further. When there is no desire, what happens? Everything just as they are. It is as they are. But as soon as we do not understand it, and when it arises now, when we do not understand it, we engage, we grasp, we take it on, and then we generate more, we continue more, we create more, we form more. And with that, the journey again begins. So, practice of a meditation, that's why, forget about the past. Forget about worrying in the future. Know that what you are doing at this very moment, here and now. Yeah? Know that what you are doing here and now. Being able to be mindful of what you do now, whether it is you are talking, whether it is you are doing something or thinking about something, knowing exactly as it is, ability to comprehend it, whatever is apparent, ability to comprehend completely, an ability to see the cause of it. Let's say you're meditating, like this afternoon I got a call from a gentleman from Wolverhampton and said, I've been meditating so much, but how can I reduce or get rid of my bad, so-called bad thinking, bad thoughts? And he also further said that when he is not meditating, he could not see any bad thoughts arising. But as soon as he sits down, meditate, close his eyes, and start to watch the breathing in, breathing out, and those thoughts pops in, those thoughts comes in, those thoughts pops in. And it disturbs him and cannot meditate. So practice of a meditation, when we are practicing properly, we can see that those thoughts, how it is coming. Yeah? And the reason we do not see it, when we are not meditating is simply because all the senses are engaged. There is a sound that we are engaged with. It's entertaining. It's always taking our consciousness away. There is a visual object, so many visual objects, visual colors are there. And again, we are engaged with that visual objects and colors, constantly engaging with that. And as soon as we are working with these colors and visions, our mind is so active. As a smell is working, when our tongue is working, our body comes to contact with different types of the weather, and we constantly thinking about it. And with that, what happens is we think that we are not having any unwholesome thoughts, any negative thoughts. That's why sometimes people do come to me and say, I sat down at the beach and looking at the ocean and I feel so calm and so relaxed. That's why I love to be next to the beach when I meditate. That is good. But when you look at deeper into your mind itself, it's still not cleansing. The practice of a meditation is to see that every action that is taking place in our mind. An ability to watch that and not entertaining or not resisting it. Whatever is there, ability to watch it. Ability to concentrate on that and understand it, knowing it as they are, as it appears at the very moment here and now. No commentaries, no opinions, no judgments at all. Because experiences only happens now. Not in the past, not in the future. The past experiences are just a lesson. As long as we are holding on to it, as long as we are thinking about it, then that continues. And there are so many incidents that we came through, even for me, within this 40 years of time, let's say 20 years of being in Buddhism. I have come through so many actions and so many engagements, so many activities, plenty to think. But within these activities, only things that I remember, and that are the major incidents, and that's only that I wanted to remember, and that remains. Having said that, that doesn't mean you forget them all. But if you got something that comes and then reinvestigate it, ask you again and again, suddenly from subconsciousness it will come back again. Whether it is important to you or not. If someone is coming and then asking you and investigating you, it will come, whether it is good or bad, whether it will make you happy or unhappy. And there are plenty of stories that you want to forget and it's already forgotten, but as soon as somebody investigates it, it comes back and it haunts you. And it can make you feel unhappy, make you feel down for quite some times. And it will take quite a long period of time to forget it. Yeah. So that's why practice of a meditation is not about the past, not about the future, but about the present here and now. And that's why when you are meditating, as you are meditating, whatever comes into your minds, whether it is negative thought or a positive thoughts, your job is to watch and understand that these are just arisen in this present moment and it will pass. And we constantly go in the future. And now here, because the present moment is so important like this, we have to make it best out of it. Whether we will be happy or not, it's based on now. So that's why on this occasion of New Year, my message to you all, think about it. Whatever the past that you have, whether it is good or bad, things that you don't want to take with you, leave it behind. Think that what you want to be in the future, think about now and be mindful of your every actions that you are doing, whether it is speaking, whether it is physically doing, or whether it is mentally thinking. And whenever you are having these thoughts coming in that moment, whether you are reacting with your greed, hatred, or delusion, or whether you are acting with kindness and compassion and with a mind of equanimity. So when you be able to manage and maintain this state of the mind, future will be happy, future will be okay. Whether it's going to be or not, it's fine. Everything must change. So you will be able to be happy and successful on this journey. So I offer this for tonight as a reflection. May you be happy, peaceful, and successful. Stay safe. Whatever you may have a good wishes for this new year, all good wishes come true. Stay healthy and continue practicing on this path to the liberation. May you be free from all kinds of suffering until attain the enlightenment, so-called Nibbana. So with this I end, and once again thank you very much Colin and Claire for donations towards the center. So in a few minutes time we will have evening chanting, we will have a guided meditation. So I would like to invite you to come and join with us. If you can follow, continue following the chanting. If you can't, you may listen it from your heart and then continue meditating until half an hour later there will be a guided meditation for another half an hour. So whichever ways you would like to join with us, please do so. And see you tomorrow. So good night.